reported on climate change all over the world. And just recently I've become incredibly alarmed at how completely unprepared we are for the severity of the impacts of climate change that we're seeing now, let alone in the future. And that includes the effects we're seeing in Britain, my own home country, in London. And the great news is that by coming together as a community, there's a great deal we can do to make sure we don't slide into an abyss of climate chaos, but actually turn things round and make the world safer.
Something that stood out to me is like moving away from this really kind of scientific explanation around environmental issues and finding more inclusive ways to bring people into the space who might not otherwise be interested in making it a real human issue rather than just a nature environmental issue.
Whilst we're here to talk about climate change, adaptation and mitigation, it feels very recognised that the way to do that is not necessarily to act directly on adaptation and mitigation, but rather to engage on those things that are important for people. Climate action falls out of people working to address housing inequality, security on the streets, community building. And that's certainly been the message and the research that I've been working on through notions like transformative adaptation for the last 20 odd years. So to see it coming here organically from the students and from the practitioners is really rewarding, and it feels like that's the sustainable future.
I think one thing that really stood out to me was a workshop on disinformation and how we can look to view disinformation as a challenge that affects people almost as a public health risk.
It's sometimes daunting to think about all the misinformation that's out there, but giving us practical examples for how we could help combat it and examples in the world for different cultures and how they've done that was very insightful and helpful to hear.
And I think in the face of growing risks from climate change, we really have to get to grips with how the best way of communicating true and safe information to communities that need it most, and I think that's a key factor in resilience.
So you think, well, why have I come here? Well, it's not to tell everybody about what we're doing. It's actually to meet the people who are doing other things in other communities to find out how they've gone about what they've done and what worked and what didn't work. And also to actually see people that we probably meet on Zoom that we've never met before. And today has been amazing. I have met the most amazing people who are doing the most amazing thing. It's all very well for us to be locked away in our little communities and getting on with it, but if we do not connect with other people who are doing the same thing, bringing in community assemblies in their communities, we simply will not be as effective as we might be.
Hearing what works and what didn't work in Guildford in terms of building community resilience was so useful, and then the session with Jules after that, where we built live in 45 minutes a community plan, a community action plan. What a fabulously practical afternoon it's been.
It's called the Restart Project. They host repair parties where you can take your things there and repair and keep them to use them again instead of throwing away. So I really love that session, and it's giving me ideas on organizing similar activities back in my community.
These few days mean so much to me and to us at London Resilience especially. It's so important that communities come together to tackle the different crises that we may face and are already facing across the world.
It's really, really important that we support initiatives just like this one, because this is exactly the kind of thing that people need to be doing. It's like connecting up with their communities, connecting up communities with each other. We have so much more power this way to actually make things happen and actually improve the resilience of our places and our people.
I think that it's such a big city and they all exist in little nodes, and so events like this are really important to connect those nodes.
I found it so rewarding to speak about heat pumps and speak about what I do, but also to connect with so many other people who are working in this space.
I wanted to connect with like-minded people. I wanted to gain skills and learnings that I could add to my toolkit.
Have left having talked to some really interesting people, made some really great connections.
Well-resourced, nice space of
here like learning and sharing.
To the extent that I've got about 3 pages worth of emails and notes and actions of connections and sharing that I want to do.
Going home with a long list of people to contact about who can help us with growing food resilience in our neighbourhood, and also so many ideas about how to make use of an apothecary as part of our garden, learning from other gardens like Organically.
One of the things that I'm coming away with is London particularly has a fantastic layering of these community networks. So our work on supporting and enhancing London's food resilience is so well placed when we can work in partnership with these many other networks and are kind of like a united front to make our city not just more resilient, but to show what might be possible to kind of be a leader within the UK, maybe even globally, in terms of how we prepare for the many risks that face our cities, our countries, certainly our communities. So I feel like there's a lot ahead and a lot of challenges, but we got each other, so I'm feeling positive about what can be done.
I had some questions about how we apply the concepts we learned there in Guildford to more diverse areas, to different areas where people's approaches to climate are completely different than they might be in Guildford. Coming from an urban planning background, I'm really interested in those urban diverse spaces. And I was talking to people around me, and they had solutions too about for communities that don't trust or that aren't interested in climate to go through trusted community leaders and work through that channel to get decisions made. And so it's been great to get, again, like practical solutions here. I guess I was expecting to talk to community leaders, expecting to make connections, but I wasn't expecting the amount of really practical knowledge that I was gaining from this that I can take with me into practice. That's been amazing.
What was really great about it was having so many perspectives, those who are in the middle of learning about all of the risks and processes and everything that they could contribute from their learning, but also those practitioners who have been doing this for years, decades, and today really brought that together, and various technical expertise injected into it as well.
We had amazing food, we had an amazing set of workshops.
And I love the food, thank you very much for that. I think there's a possibility of having a conference with vegan food and oat milk, and it works.
Probably the poetry. It was great at the end of the day of, using our brains and meeting new people to just enjoy some inspirational poetry at the end of the day.
Sometimes at uni I feel a bit disconnected from the implementation of the things we learn, and here so many inspiring people and organizations, it gives me hope and it gives me inspiration to further pursue what I'm studying and then put it into action.
We're trying to crack the same nut, so let's pool our thoughts, let's support each other, and that's been really inspiring here today and yesterday. It's fantastic 2 days.
The work we do is really tough and kind of out of body, so being able to connect with other people here who are doing similar work has just been very fulfilling.
I will be taking home with me something about kind of how much power people have when they come together. I think that's the biggest thing for me, and that doing things like a People's Assembly can make people's voices heard that might not have been heard before.
And it's been a great opportunity to A, show people what's possible in terms of deliberative democracy, but also B, just learn so much about what other people are doing and how we can scale this a lot more.
Great assembly, good connections. Let's do it more regular.